Happy Halloween night. I'm here with our Vitamin Joy Tarot reading. Before we jump into this, know that this is a longer tarot reading. I'm going to be reading 5 cards for us this Halloween evening. I am going to be using the Halloween tarot deck. And I'm going to just take a look at this idea of vitamin joy. Now, I do believe Halloween is a kickoff to the vitamin joy season. We're walking into Halloween, a darker time of the year, very much associated with death and spirit. And I think that when it comes to living this life and dealing with grief and pain and death and darkness, I think we have to do the best we can to light it up with joy. So, vitamin joy is a term that I use often, talking about getting joy in like a vitamin, because, death will visit you, trauma and pain, chaos, turmoil, those will all visit us. But we need to actively pursue and ingest joy in a way to compensate for all of that. So, with that being said, let me shuffle 3 times. I'll be taking a look at where we're collectively, what we need for joy for our mind, our body, our heart, and our spirit. So I'm pulling 5 cards here. So if you're looking for a little joy, if you're looking for a little bit of a perspective shift on this Halloween night, let's get started. Here's the card that represents all of us collectively. And we have the Page of Bats. So all the pages, sometimes known as princesses, are very youthful. They're very childlike, they're beginners, and they're also messengers. So when it comes to tarot cards, look at the suit that you're pulling. So in this deck, the bats equals swords, which represents air. This is the mind, this is breath, this is communication. Now, I will say this over and over again. I love the analogy of the sword representing the mind, because if you're not using either with skill or grace, you're going to hurt yourself or other people. You don't know how to use a sword, you're going to drop it on your foot, perhaps cut your neighbor. If you don't know how to use your mind, you're going to hurt yourself and perhaps other people around you. Now, the mind is not something that I think we're taught to use well or with skill. We're not really taught critical thinking. We're not taught these sorts of things. So we're all left to our own devices, trying to figure out how to be kind to ourselves, be kind to other people, understanding the mind and the fact that primarily it's a tool for us that gives us back the information that we've ingested. If you know not to mix ammonia with bleach, well, you're either going to have to learn that the hard way or learn that from somebody who would have learned that before you. And once you know that, using the mind is reaching back into that repository and going, hey, don't mix those 2 things together or we're going to get messed up. How oftentimes do we beat ourselves up with regret, shame, and guilt in a way that we would not want other people to? If we are doing that and holding those stories inappropriately, well, we're hurting ourselves with our mind. So while we do need to be playful and childlike, I think it's important to remember the mind repeats back to us what it's been taught, and for good or ill, we're subject to hearing that. So that's where we're at. Now, kicking this off, kind of looking at it through the mind lens, let's take a look at what we need for joy for our mind. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is the Greek word for priest or holy person. For me, this does represent religion, but it also reminds me that we are primarily our own priests. A spiritual path or a spiritual practitioner worth their salt will always point a person back to the authority of their own heart. I truly believe that. I can give you advice or guidance, your spirits can give you advice or guidance, but if you wouldn't tell a child or a best friend or a sister that they're fat, you shouldn't be telling yourself that. And the point of that is that if you know what to tell a loved one, you know what to tell yourself. And touching upon that holy part within us, that's primarily love and strength and wisdom, well, we can at least not hurt ourselves in our mind and perhaps even find joy. Okay, for our heart, the King of Ghosts, which is the King of Cups. This would make sense being a heart card as well. For me, this represents the archetype of Gomez Addams. If you're familiar with Gomez Addams, boy oh boy, has this helped me along the way. Understanding that we really can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. Boy oh boy, Gomez, man, he has things happen to him in his TV show and in his movies, but he always had that heart of love, that realization that love is the most important reason why we're here. He was in love with his family, his wife, his kids, his passion, his family, all of it. If we can embody Gomez Addams, well, life is going to be a little bit better and we'll have a little bit of joy. I have used that so much in my life where I'm walking into a scenario and I'm like, remember the King of Cups, remember to be Gomez Addams, remember to keep it lighthearted, and it always seems to help. Joy for our body. The Tower. Now, the Tower is destruction. And when you look at some of these cards, if not all of them, it is about progression and evolution of the soul. So, I hate getting on a soapbox about this, but I got to bring it up because it's my example. I was born into this world a gay man. Didn't have any choice about that. Absolutely not. And as such, where I was born, the world I was born into, the things that was taught to me, I developed a real good case of internalized homophobia. Thought it was bad, thought, the world was right and I'm the gross one. Well, being taught that our bodies are gross because they're fat or that we're bad because we're gay, these are all things that we are often subject to, but they're also structures within our society that should never have been put there in the first place. Kids and people should not be taught that by default they're bad, they're fallen, they're gross, they're fat, they're ugly. And when we confront those things that we're taught and we deconstruct them, well, that's the Tower. So this is for the body, okay? For folks who might be interested in this, go ahead and Google the obesity paradox. The fact that what we're taught about our bodies, just work out more and eat less, it's all about willpower. There's nothing factual about that. Talk to any dietitian and they will never tell you to eat less. So there's a lot that we've been taught about bodies, science, food, exercise, through the diet and wellness culture of the 70s, 80s, maybe even 60s, into the 2000s. A lot of it's wrong, and a lot of it is designed to make you hate yourself and spend more money on diet fads. And ultimately, joy for our spirit comes from death. To understand that we die and we are reborn again. Even this Halloween season is an opportunity for us to die and become something new. Tomorrow morning you could wake up and be somebody completely new. It really is that easy. But one day this death will happen upon us all. We will go into the world of spirit, go through all the things that are involved there, and for many of us, we will be reborn into this world. Some of us move on, some of us stay in spirit to help others here, but life and death is constant. Birth and rebirth is constant, and that's what I think our spirit looks for. We suffer because we lack a lot of ceremony and ritual in this world, meaning the people who get married who go through a ceremony, well, when they get divorced, they should go through a ceremony as well. That's important. So, think of death and rebirth and how much that brings joy to your spirit, knowing that no matter what, this all comes to an end and it starts all over. It's all a big cycle. And a good time to remember that being tonight. It's been a wonderful Halloween season with you. I want to thank you for being here, and I invite you to take care of yourself. And if nothing else, light a candle for your beloved dead tonight. Happy Halloween, and we'll see you tomorrow.